If you look at the box scores for the 2025 season, the narrative for the NFC Championship seems pretty straightforward. You have the Pro Football Writers Association MVP Matthew Stafford facing the comeback story of the year in Sam Darnold. You have two divisional rivals meeting for the third time. But when I ran the efficiency metrics for this specific matchup, I found something the box scores didn't show. Usually, elite teams have an identity. They do what they do, regardless of the opponent. But when the Rams and the Seahawks play each other, their identities completely dissolve. Both offenses get significantly worse. Both defenses play significantly better. It's a statistical anomaly where the league's best unit turns average the moment they step onto the field together. Today, we're going to look at the data to figure out why, and who has the structural advantage to win the trilogy. Let's start with the Los Angeles Rams. All year, Sean McVay has run a balanced, lethal offense. But look at this split. Against the rest of the NFL, the Rams drop back to pass 52% of the time. But against Seattle, that drops to 45%. They become a run-first team. Now usually, you run the ball because you're having success. But the efficiency metrics suggest the exact opposite thing is happening. Look at the EPA per rush. Against the league, they're positive. Against Seattle, they plummet to negative 0.7 EPA per attempt. They're running the ball more, even though they're running it worse. This tells us a story about respect. The data shows Stafford's completion percentage over expected, or CPOE, drops to nearly 9% against Mike Macdonald's defense. McVay is seemingly afraid of the turnover, so he's taking the ball out of the MVP's hands and forcing a run game that Seattle is stuffing at the line of scrimmage. If the Rams want to win Sunday, they have to stop playing scared and let Stafford throw the ball, even though it's risky. On the other side, we see the exact inverse problem. Sam Darnold has had a renaissance season, but against the Rams, he turns into a bit of a pumpkin. That's the massive swing in efficiency. We're talking a drop of nearly 0.16 EPA per play. For context, that's the difference between the Patriots offense and the Giants offense. We know about the interceptions. He's had 6 of them in the 2 games against LA. But look at the play calling tendency chart. Unlike McVay, who hides his QB, the Seahawks are actually leaning into the pass. Their pass rate jumps from 44% to over 50% against the Rams. They're putting the game on Darnold's shoulders, despite the fact that the Rams secondary have his number. This is a gamble. High risk, high reward. The Rams are baiting Darnold into mistakes, and so far, he's taken the bait every time. But as we saw in Week 16 comeback, he only needs to be right for 1 quarter to erase 3 quarters of bad play. If both quarterbacks struggle in this matchup, where's the edge? And I think I found it in the Rams' defensive run splits. This is one of the most important bar charts out there. The Rams' defensive run is elite against almost everyone, allowing negative EPA. But against Seattle, that bar flips positive. They're allowing 0.069 EPA per rush. This is the Kenneth Walker effect. While everyone is focused on Darnold and Stafford, Seattle has a legitimate schematic advantage on the ground. The data suggests that if Seattle ignores the temptation to get into shootout and commit to the run game, the Rams don't have an answer for it. Football analysis often gets caught up in who wants it more, but the numbers paint a picture of 2 teams that force each other to play left-handed. The Rams run the ball when they should pass, and the Seahawks pass the ball when they should run. Both coaches are trying to protect their weakness rather than exploit their strengths. The data points to a game that should be much uglier than the 38-37 shootout we saw in Week 16. The efficiency metrics suggest a defensive grind. My model favors Seattle for one specific reason. The Rams' drop-off in offensive efficiency, negative 0.108, is structural. They can't run on Seattle, and they refuse to stop trying. Seattle's drop-off is largely turnover-based. Turnovers are volatile, structural matchups are consistent. If Darnold protects the football, math says Seattle moves on to Super Bowl 60. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the raw Python code and the data behind the charts, I've linked the notebook in the description below. Enjoy the game.